One.
Good afternoon. This is the Board of County Commissioners. It is Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. It is 2:04 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. I'm Carolina Mejia. I'm the chair of the board. Vice Chair Ty Menser joining us via Zoom. And to my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. Also in the boardroom, we have County Manager Ramiro Chavez, as well as Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell and Assistant County Manager Rob Gelder, and Clerk of the Board Jamie Caldwell. We'll start our meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Commissioner Edwards.
I'd like to point out, we have a couple of veterans in the room, and if it wasn't for the veterans, we wouldn't even be here. I like to bring that up once in a while. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will do a land acknowledgement. We would also like to start today with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today. Specifically, the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. Have the commissioners reviewed the agenda? Is there an item that they would like to remove from the agenda at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, with that, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, can I just confirm, have there been any changes to the agenda since what was in this morning's packet?
Not since this morning, sir.
Okay, very good. I make a motion to approve the proposed agenda for Tuesday, August 15th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Our agenda is approved. Next, there will be an opportunity for the public to address the board. County Manager, I know that there's
Thank you, Madam Chair. You will see the podium has been moved this afternoon. We had some issues with the portable microphone, so we have moved the podium so we can capture the sound from the speakers that we have on the ceiling. So when you come to the podium, for those who are joining us here today in the boardroom, I will encourage you to speak a little bit louder. And my apologies, the portable microphone is not working.
Thank you. Okay, I will review the guidelines for public comments. The Board of Thurston County Commissioners welcome comments from the public. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. The general speaking guidelines are as follows. Please introduce yourself, including the address you reside in the county. Please address the board, not the audience or staff. Please silence your cell phones for those members in the boardroom. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the boards. Meeting entities cannot donate their speaking time to another person. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outburst of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. All materials provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to public release upon request, pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 of the RCW. No remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. Thank you for your cooperation. With that, I will call members who are in the boardroom first, and then if you did not get a chance to sign up, I will give you that opportunity, and then we will move on to Zoom. First person is John Pettit.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live at 9725 Rich Road Southeast. I refer to it as the Chutes River Ranch. And a lot of people enjoy swimming and playing on the river. I'm here today. I'm going to actually cover a few different topics, but the first thing I'm going to do is give you a number. Negative $1,236,607. What's that negative number? that negative number was the balance on the 31st of July of the REIT account, the real estate excise tax, an account that we collect money into. It has a negative balance. It's probably the only one in the entire state that has a negative balance, and that's under your guidance, commissioners. I told you we were going to run into a spot where you keep taking money out of the REIT account when you shouldn't, and you went ahead and did it, and you continue to do it. Next month, you get an audit from the state of Washington. I just received a letter back from the state auditor and the elected one, and she confirmed that she received a packet of information that I provided. The reason I'm going to this route is because I don't want anyone to try to shove under everyone the misuse in the amount of approximately $27 million of misspent money from REIT over the last 3 years. If you read the packet, I've sent it to you, you would know that the only thing allowable for REIT to be spent on is items that are specifically listed as capital projects in the capital improvement plan. Thurston County has been using it as a slush fund, paying bond payments, paying for all types of things, even paying nearly $10 million for this facility right here. Now, it's completely wrong, and the parties involved with making those decisions will likely be held personally liable for the full amount of dollars. That's the law. As a commissioner, you're a fiduciary. As public servants, officers, they are fiduciaries. When they do something, they're liable for it. Now, what all this comes down to, and it's unfortunate, just as I mentioned the first part about having a negative balance, someone likes to tell you, oh, everything's perfect. Well, according to the Washington State Bar's Code, you're not to have a negative balance. There is no rules that Thurston County thinks applies to you. If you don't want to follow the rules, the laws of the state of Washington, resign, get out. Fire the people that have been abusing them. You're responsible. Why should anyone? The most fundamental part of what taxpayers do is they pay their taxes. Why should anyone trust an organization that has intentionally gone out of their way not to spend the money properly? It's inappropriate. I can happen to like you as commissioners. I should say you as people. I don't like when people do things that are wrong. I find it inappropriate, and I think that if you really care about Thurston County, you probably need to resign if you've been involved in any way, shape, or form with this financial abuse. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Terry Ballard.
It's above you.
Sir, as stated at the beginning.
Good to go. Ready? Go. Hello, my name's Terry Ballard. I live in Tanglewild. I'm a 35-year veteran. 29 of that is towards an active duty to retirement, and I thank you for the acknowledgement of the veterans from Mr. Edwards. Why are we in this building? This building's outside the county seat. Okay? It's illegal. I understand it was annexed to in 1964, but the county seat has not changed since 1861. Somebody lied to a reporter about it. Somebody lied to a reporter about the pocket gopher. And when you're reporting false information, that's a gross misdemeanor, and that's 365 days in jail per incident, or 5K. If you lie to an official. I've been lied to here. Why is that? Why are you not holding people accountable? Why are you not holding the people who are lying to the public accountable? And they're lying to you. And don't tell me that you didn't know about it, because if you didn't know about it and you reported it, that's like reporting falsely. Okay, so we need to get down to business. RCW 42.30.120 says the first fine of a misdemeanor is $500 and $1,000 up to $1,000 per incident. That's in the Open Public Meetings Act. RCW 42.30.075 is a schedule of all meetings before January of the previous year. Okay, for all the meetings, we violate that. RCW 42.30.080, special meetings. This is a special meeting. It's outside of the county seat. Next is the county seat. The regular outside alternative options is once per quarter. 30-day notification. It's a special meeting. Nothing can go on. Nothing can get voted on in a special meeting. Okay. Seat of government was established by Attorney General Eckleberry and at the time Deputy AG Gregoire. Why aren't we reading that? I provided it to you. Also, Article 11 says 3/5 of all votes need to be cast to change the county seat. That hasn't changed since 1861. Why don't we have the vote? Also, House Bill 1645 establishes the same thing. RCW 42.30.070 is for emergencies. If we have an emergency, that's fine. But if we have an emergency and if we have a meeting and it falls on a holiday, you're supposed to have a follow-up meeting the very next day. As far as RCW 99 Alpha .84.040 is defacement of my campaign signs, which is an RCW. I got pictures. This is a big deal. People are defacing my signs, stealing my signs, tearing my signs up. I am mad. I reported this to Lacey, and I will report this to, I have 9 violations of 60 days max, $1,000 fine for defacement of my signs. Okay? Everybody's more worried about the Democrats and Republicans, but they aren't worried about the people that give no preference to running. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I believe anybody else in the boardroom?
Anyone else? No?
Okay, next, the only person that I have in Zoom, Jesse Simmons.
No comments from me today, sir. Thank you.
I will conclude public testimony, Madam Chair.
Okay. Next is county manager's update.
Yeah, thank you. I have a couple of updates for you. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our own Director of Public Works, Ms. Jennifer Walker, has been awarded the 2023 Washington State American Public Works Association Empowering Teams Award. This award recognizes public works teams who are making exceptional advancements to improve public works services. Congratulations to you, Jennifer. I know you're here, and this is just a reflection of your commitment to public service, to your commitment to provide our citizens and residents to the best possible service related to public works. And nothing but thank you for what you do. And I don't know if you want to come up here.
Yeah, you have to say a couple words.
And I know the award ceremony is coming up in October at the Washington State American Public Works Association Fall Conference. And unfortunately, she will not be there in person to accept the award, but somebody will.
Yes, well, thank you. I think that this is really a department award because I can empower teams and call staff to greatness all I want, but they have to be willing to accept it. And our public works team at Thurston County is. And I am very honored and privileged to be able to manage and direct such an amazing department. So thank you.
Thank you. Any words for Director Walker?
Well, I guess I would say you mentioned your team, and it just so happens you have what? Two members of your team here, Brian and Tim, right? Good examples of why you look good, huh? Because I won't say anything else that might get taken out of context.
Right, anyways, I think, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Vice Chair Menser?
Congratulations, Jennifer. We appreciate having you.
Director Walker, just congratulations and really thank you for, doing everything that you do and thank you for thanking your team because you do have a great team. Okay,
Yeah, and the other item also related to public works, and speaking about a team effort, the Board of County Commissioners received an email from the office of Senator Canwell announcing the public works in the county has been awarded $3 million in funding from the Department of Transportation National Culvert Removal Replacement Grant. This is allocated to the Green Cove Fish Barrier. And this $3 million is nothing but an incredible feat that Public Works has embarked. As even Commissioner Edwards has always stated, how much we're doing to get additional money from state, federal sources. And this is just a great example of receiving this money. And this is gonna take us a long ways to build this project. And there is not just a need to the community, but also open up an incredible fish habitat when we replace this bridge. Long story, next week we'll come back with a lot more information to you related to what the financial plan, how it's gonna help us, not just now, but into the future. But again, congratulations to the Public Works team in getting this grant, because getting a grant from the federal government at this time is tasking. So kudos to all of you.
yes, comments on that, Commissioner Edwards?
I guess I would like to point out that the board made a decision years ago to get started on this whole replacement project and has since committed a lot of dollars over the years to, I guess the best way I can put it is it's an environmental issue, but it's saving a species and it's enhancing our community. And so I think not only that award, but for those that saw the foresight to put in for it and got it going. And that goes back to Jennifer and her team. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Menser?
I'm just very excited to hear that. This particular project, we have a lot of culverts we're after, but this one was kind of pushed forward by some structural failure. But it's an important culvert, and we had a lot of input from the community. We did not go with the cheapest option. We went with a more expensive option to try to meet all the needs that the community, all the different surrounding community members articulated. And so to get some help on this is a really big deal, because we were really stretching to try to make that higher dollar option viable. And we thought we had a plan, but this is going to help a lot. I'm excited to see next week how this might free up some other resources for other things. But yeah, great news. Thank you.
Thank you. Like I said this morning, it made my Saturday when I received that email. And it came in through the morning. I didn't read it till nighttime, and it just really just lightened me up. And very thankful to Public Works staff who worked on this project. It's not a small undertaking to go for federal money and to qualify for this kind of funding at the federal level. So I know it was a huge undertaking by Public Works staff. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much to your staff, all of them who worked on this. It is a project that kind of came out of left field because of structural damage, as Commissioner Menser mentioned. So just very thankful. Okay. Any other good news?
That's all I have for you, Madam Chair.
Congratulations to Public Works today. They're
Woohoo.
just
Sounds like a Public Works week to me.
yeah. Okay. Any questions for the county manager?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to consent items. There's two item, is there any item that the commissioners would like to remove from the consent agenda?
No, ma'am.
Okay, is there a motion?
I move to approve consent items 3A and 3B.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mensah?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Consent agenda is approved. Moving on to department items. First up, central services, item 4A, large vehicle surplus service contract. Bruce?
Bruce Roman, Fleet Services Manager. This is to provide the county with another, one of multiple ways to sell vehicles. The county uses DES auction services as well. This venue is the best venue though that we've determined for large vehicles and construction equipment. There's a question about whether the internal auditor had reviewed this last week, and the internal auditor did review it on 7/25. Are there any other questions?
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Mensah?
No.
No questions for me. I'm ready for a motion.
I move to waive competitive bidding requirements in accordance with Thurston County Purchasing Policy 6G and authorize the Assistant County Manager to execute an agreement with Ritchie Brothers for a one-year term.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mensah?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, next is from the Commissioner's Office, item 5A, Experience Olympia and Beyond MOU.
Yeah, Jenica Machado, our Economic Development Program Manager, is not available to attend this afternoon, so I'll take this item on her behalf. The Board of County Commissioners back in 2014 created the Thurston Bountiful Byway. And this is mainly in the south part of Thurston County, which includes a connection of many different roads, makes a loop, and all the properties abutting this road network has the opportunity to highlight their marketing and the products they produce on their farms mainly. As the years moved on, seeing the success of that, there is an opportunity to enhance how we go through and continue to establishing the Bountiful Byway, and also bring a little more of a marketing strategies to this effort. So I believe back in 2017-18, the Board of County Commissioners approached the Experience Olympia and Beyond to see if this organization can take this initiative and make it one of their own, which they have done since, and they have been extremely successful as to how they have marketed this particular byway and how they support the activities, and which includes the planning, the coordination, announcing meetings, and documenting all the meetings related to the agritourism. We have been able to match into the agritourism this particular initiative. So this item for your consideration is a memorandum of understanding to continue this partnership with the Experience Olympia and Beyond for one more year. And this memorandum of understanding is operational, does not have any financial components between the county and Thurston, the Experience Olympia and Beyond. So, and I will stop there. Any questions?
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Mensah?
No.
Okay. No questions for me. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the memorandum of understanding with Experience Olympia and Beyond for the purposes of marketing the Bountiful Byway and administration of the Agritourism Advisory Committee, and authorize the county manager to execute the agreement.
Second?
So moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mensah?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, thank you. Moving on to Community Planning and Economic Development, item 6A, interlocal agreement renewal for voluntary stewardship program.
Hello, Commissioners. I am Joshua Cummings, the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development, filling in for CPED team members today on these next two items. And so I want to make sure and do the team justice and read the words they provided me. So, Thurston County maintains an interlocal agreement with the Thurston Conservation District to serve as a technical assistance provider for the Voluntary Stewardship Program. Before you is a new interlocal agreement covering July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2025 in the amount of $220,000 that aligns with the funding being received from the Washington State Conservation Commission. The total amount of the funding provided by the state is $240,000. The difference in the two amounts will go toward program monitoring, which the county is responsible for. That is the item for you today.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Any questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No, ma'am.
Questions from me? I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement with the Thurston Conservation District to continue to provide technical services for the Voluntary Stewardship Program for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2025 in the amount of $220,000, and authorize the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development to execute the agreement and any amendments that extend the agreement up to 1 year and do not exceed the total amount by 10%.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, moving on along the same thread to item 6B is the Voluntary Stewardship Program contract renewal.
Excellent. The county's voluntary stewardship program is funded through a contract with the Washington State Conservation Commission. The county has been partnering with SCC on this contract since 2014. New VSP funding, voluntary stewardship program, and a new contract with the SCC for $240,000 is provided retroactively from July 1st, 2023, and then through June 30th, 2025. We are requesting that the board approve the contract and delegate authority to execute the contract to me, the Community Planning and Economic Development Director, for efficiency and implementation of the program.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that to who?
To go.
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you. We've had plenty of discussion on this thing.
Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No.
No questions from me. I'm ready for a motion.
Okay, I move to approve a biennium contract K2428 with the Washington State Conservation Commission in the amount of $240,000 for the Voluntary Stewardship Program for the term of July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2025, and authorize the Community Planning and Economic Development Director to execute the contract and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, and thank you. And then the last item, item 6C, is to set a public hearing for Grand Mound Sub-Area Plan, PC recommendation. Maya, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Mejia. My people senior.
Maya, your connection
Good
is,
afternoon, Commissioners. Yes,
your connection is coming a little bit skipped.
are you hearing me okay?
Right now, better.
Oh, no. Let's try again. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Maya Teeple, Senior Planner with Community Planning. I'm here today to request that the Board of County Commissioners schedule a public hearing for the Grand Mound Sub-Area Plan on September 19th at 3:30 p.m. or soon thereafter. This public hearing would cover the Planning Commission recommendation, which includes the updated Grand Mound Sub-Area Plan, 2 amendments to the Thurston County Code to revise lot widths and incorporate design guidelines for Grand Mound, and 4 amendments within the Grand Mound urban growth area.
Maya, you're breaking up.
You started breaking up there towards the end.
I took a pause. Can you hear me now?
I think it's coming in and out. How about if I help to supplement the information you provided?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, let me get to my notes for a second. Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. Following up with what Maya stated, this is for your consideration setting a public hearing. The Planning Commission held, and staff held 4 open houses. They were held between 2018 and 2020. The Planning Commission reviewed this proposal over 6 work sessions in holding a public hearing between 2022 2023. The Planning Commission has provided several recommendations, ultimately recommending approval of the ground mount survey plan, associated code changes, and 4 internal ground mount land use and zoning amendments. Those will, and the staff provided a couple of briefings to the board, bringing the Planning Commission's recommendations, one in May 17, 2023, and the next in August 3rd, 2023, where the Board of County Commissioners confirmed moving with this a split pathway. That means they're moving with a public hearing on the ground mounted sub-area plan, associated changes, and continue the conversation with the 4 external ground mount land use, which is citizens initiative, and that is the split. So the public hearing is related specifically to the ground mounted sub-area plan and associated changes. And the second part of the split approach, the 4 external ground mount land use zoning, will not be part of the public hearing that you will be hearing. That will be a continued conversation into 2024. Hopefully that will cover and supplemented what Maya stated at the beginning. Any questions?
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, and I might point out that we've had numerous discussions about this particular topic. If it didn't make sense to you today, you could review our agenda setting meeting from 9 o'clock this morning. So it was last talked about 9 o'clock.
And also May 17 and August 3rd, full
Yeah,
briefings.
so we've had plenty of discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Munster?
No, as Commissioner Edwards said, August 3rd was a really in-depth explanation of what's going on. So if the public has any questions, I would tune into that one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep. Okay. I don't have any questions. I think there's some really good statements for the public if they're interested in checking out more information, but I'm ready for a motion.
Okay, I move to set a public hearing for Tuesday, September 19th, 2023 at 3:30 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at 3000 Pacific Avenue, room 110 to take public comment on the Grand Mountain Sub-Area Plan.
Second?
So moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to Public Health and Social Services, item 7A, request for proposals for Developmental Disabilities Department Community Project Grants. Mark, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mark Moffitt, Public Health and Social Services. Thurston Mason Developmental Disabilities Program is requesting approval to initiate a request for proposals for services, programs, and community outreach that enhance and increase services in the community that support the health and well-being of individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. This RFP provides up to $1 million from Thurston County millage and up to $500,000 from Mason County millage for the 2-year period starting January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025. The revenue to fund these services comes from Thurston and Mason County dedicated property tax dollars from RCW 71.20.110. This RFP supports education and personal safety by providing services that assist individuals with developmental disabilities in achieving personal and professional goals and in developing healthy relationships. Also, community accessibility and inclusivity to better engage with and support rural and special needs communities to ensure that people are connected, supported, and included. And finally, through personal growth and independence. And I can answer any questions for you.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. Thank you. Plenty of discussion on this, and thank you, Mark, for watching out for those folks that are less fortunate than some of us. So thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No questions.
No questions from me. I am ready for a motion.
I move to authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to issue a request for proposals for the initiation of the 2024-2025 Thurston Mason Developmental Disabilities Community Project Grants.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Okay, and on the same thread with item 7B is the approval of professional services agreements with contractors for supported employment, high school transition, job foundation, and community inclusion services. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Commissioner Mejia. Thurston Mason County Developmental Disabilities Professional Service Agreements span from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th of 2024 and are for a combined total of $5,428,260.60. The Thurston County Developmental Disabilities Program uses funds from DDA to contract with local service providers to deliver supported employment, high school transition, job foundation, and community inclusion services. Thurston and Mason in Thurston and Mason County. Supported employment services assist clients with career exploration, job development, on-the-job training, and workplace support to help adults with developmental disabilities access and retain meaningful employment. They also serve the employer community by matching people with developmental disabilities to jobs that meet employer needs. High school transition services provide individuals with developmental disabilities ages 20 to 21 who are enrolled in their final year of high school with vocational assessment and discovery, on-the-job training and job development with the goal of paid employment upon graduation. And then finally, community inclusion services promote individualized skill development, independent living, and community integration for persons with developmental disabilities to learn how to actively and independently engage in their local community. And I can answer any questions on this as well.
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No.
Okay, no questions for me. I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve Thurston Mason County Developmental Disabilities Professional Services Agreements with Career Quest, Center Force, Exceptional Foresters, Morningside, and Vetus for a combined total of $5,428,260.60 to provide supported employment, high school transition, job foundation, and community inclusion services for the period of July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024, and to authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign these agreements and any future amendments that do not change the durations or compensations by more than 10%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Thank you, Mark. Okay,
Thank you, Commissioner.
moving on to Public Works, item 8A, authorization to issue a request for proposal, RFP for step tank pumping services contract. Joe, take it away.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Joe Plahuta, Senior Water Resource Engineer with Public Works. Here today to request that the board allow us to issue a request for proposals for step tank pumping, transport, and disposal services. And to provide some background on this item, Public Works owns and operates approximately 250 step tanks in the Boston Harbor and Olympic View communities. Public Works is responsible for pumping these tanks to ensure proper operation. And tanks are pumped on a rotating schedule consisting of approximately 60 tanks annually. In addition, periodic unscheduled pumping is also required. Furthermore, Public Works owns and operates sewer collection and treatment systems in the Grand Mound and Tamashan communities. These systems contain gravity sewer, pressure sewer, and vacuum sewer components, and occasional pumping services are also required to maintain these assets. Public Works does not have the necessary resources in-house to perform step tank pumping and has a need for those services on an ongoing basis. Therefore, Public Works would like to enter into a service contract for up to a 5-year term to guarantee service pricing and terms. The initial term would be for 1 year with 4 1-year renewal options, and the estimated cost for the 5-year term would be, or over the 5-year term would be $350,000. The RFP process allows for competition and evaluation of multiple contractors' proposals and is most likely to result in a contract that meets the operational needs and delivers the greatest value to the public. as well as keeping the county within its procurement policy. Upon receipt, review, and scoring of the submitted proposals, the ranked proposals and financial impacts of any proposed contract will be presented to the Board of County Commissioners at a separate meeting for consideration for approval under a separate action. All contract expenditures for step tank pumping would be funded through utility rates. So again, Public Works is requesting the board approve issuance of a request for proposals for step tank pumping, transport, and disposal services. With that, I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Questions for Joe? Commissioner Edwards?
No questions.
Commissioner Mensah?
No.
No questions for me. I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I move to authorize Public Works to issue a request for proposal for septic tank effluent pump tank pumping, transport, and disposal from the county-owned tanks in the Boston Harbor and Olympic View communities, and from the sewer collection and treatment system components located in the Grand Mound and Tamashan communities.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mensah?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. And then item 8B, ordinance updating the Thurston County Water and Sewer Utility Code. Tim, go ahead.
Commissioners, Tim Wilson, Water Resources Manager with Public Works. Two items before you today. Before I do that, I see a really unique opportunity to embarrass my director a bit, and well, who wouldn't take that opportunity? So regarding Jennifer's award, I would just like to, because I'm the only Public Works staff here, on behalf of her staff, thank her and congratulate her for her award. Been here the majority, she's been my director for the majority of the time that I've been here. And that time Public Works has, in all facets, moved forward in a positive way that better serves our community. She's an inspiring leader, and it just makes us all better every day, so congratulations.
Yay!
So, staff is here today recommending the board move to approve an ordinance updating the Thurston County Water and Sewer Utility Code, chapters 1509, 1510, and 1512. Thurston County owns and operates 3 water and sewer utilities in the Grand Mound, Tamashan, and Boston Harbor communities, and a septic tank effluent pumping system with a community drain field in Olympic View. With the exception of the Grand Mound systems, all the water and sewer utilities were acquired by requirement of state regulatory agencies due to the systems either failing or being poorly managed by the communities that they serve. It is the sole responsibility of the county to operate and manage the water and sewer systems in accordance with RCW 3694-140. Code revisions are recommended to standardize administration of the utilities, to support a consolidated utility model, and to provide definition updates to make the code more understandable to the public. Today's recommendation follows a robust public outreach and engagement process that culminated with a public hearing, which was held on July 18th, and a board briefing on the public hearing was also held on August 3rd. And with that background, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Mensah?
No questions, maybe a comment I'd like to add. 3 of these 4 systems are in my district, and this is a really big deal. This has been going on for a long time to try to produce equity and sustainability to these systems that the county has inherited for the reasons Tim outlined. The reason it's not probably a boardroom full of people and high emotions is that there's been incredible outreach by Public Works staff to hold, first the commissioners commissioned a study to see how this would work and whether it would benefit the communities in the system. Then there was a public outreach that involved all sorts of open houses and engagement of our advisory committees. So it's going to kind of go with the blip today because so much work has been done to make everybody understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. But I would just point out for folks that aren't familiar with what's going on, this is a really, really big deal. I think it's a smart move by the board. and really hard work by public works staff and great engagement from the community members that participate. I know Commissioner Mejia's regularly engaged with Boston Harbor, Tamasham. I mean, all the communities are very engaged in with the county on how these rates are set and how the systems are working and how we make sure we can afford to do the things over time that need to be done. So anyway, I'm excited to see this get to a finish line because this was kind of just getting started when I joined the board 5 years ago, and I think we're going to see good results from it.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready for a motion. I don't have any questions, sir.
Okay. I move to approve the ordinance updating the Thurston County Water and Sewer Utility Code, chapters 1509, 1510, and 1512.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, and then that same wave, item 8C, resolution consolidating Thurston County Water and Sewer Utilities. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you. So the second part of this effort today is the recommendation for the board to approve a resolution amending the Board of County Commissioners' previously established principles of governance and management for Thurston County utility operations by repealing resolution number 09993 and associated utility operating agreements, establishing consolidated rate and fund structures, and establishing a consolidated utility advisory committee. Consideration of utility consolidation has been a thoughtful and lengthy process that began with board direction several years ago. Public Works first contracted with HDR Incorporated to explore the feasibility of consolidation of the county managed water and sewer utilities. The feasibility study outlined a clear path to consolidation. Public Works subsequently contracted with FCS Group to conduct a water and sewer rate study and develop rate structures for consolidated utilities. Benefits outlined in the study included improved financial stability and reduced rate volatility, shared planning and capital prioritization, economies of scale through rate blending, and simplified accounting, administration, and utility billing. Public outreach on this consideration has been extensive and has included an informational webpage on the Public Works website, which included the draft resolution for public review, information related to the proposed consolidation provided to customers via utility bill inserts, and messaging in the annual Consumer Confidence Report. The Utility Advisory Committees, or UACs, were informed and engaged on the consolidation process as a standing agenda item at regular UAC meetings. Community open houses were held during the last week of June as an additional opportunity for community engagement. A total of 3 open houses were held, providing an opportunity near each of the service areas. A public hearing on the proposed resolution was held on July 18th, and the board is being asked to approve the resolution. The resolution before you has the support of the existing utility advisory committees and will position the utilities for future success. And while I have the opportunity to bring this resolution before the board for consideration today, the effort to get this improvement in front of the board is the result of countless hours of efforts by many employees of Public Works who work diligently to engage and inform advisory committees and ratepayers in a transparent and collaborative way. Also, the committees themselves devoted many hours to working with staff to ask great questions and assist with charting a successful course to consolidation. Public Works appreciates both staff and our advisory committee's efforts on this and wanted to take a moment to recognize their efforts. And with that selfish plug, I would be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No, actually, such a good job's been done, and we've talked about it so much, I have no questions, Tim, thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Mentzer?
No, sorry to steal your thunder, Tim, from my previous comments.
Okay, no questions for me. I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I move to approve the resolution amending the Board of County Commissioners' previously established principles of governance and management for Thurston County utility operations by repealing resolution number 09993 and associated utility operating agreements, establishing consolidated rate and fund structures, and establishing a consolidated utility advisory committee.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. So thank you. And then I guess just for the public, right, we seem to go through these items pretty quickly. We review each of these items twice, once the week before and then, the week of at 9 a.m. And we usually have separate work sessions about it as well. So that's why there's not a lot of questions or comments, just because there has been a lot of previous discussion usually before we get to this point. So thank you. Okay, moving on to our standing items. Commissioners will report on board work sessions and assigned committee meetings, providing updates on actions taken as well as upcoming issues. Commissioner Edwards, we'll start with you, sir.
I think the only thing I'm really gonna focus on is, last week I did have a morning meeting with all the Superior Court judges. They call it the Board of Superior Court Judges, actually, which is new to me. But we discussed a lot of issues of concern, both with the board and the judges and the whole, really, the criminal justice component. So I wouldn't doubt that my seatmates may be contacted to sit in on one of these coffees. So that's maybe coming down the pike. But it was a good meeting. Then last week I did attend the all-staff lot meeting. They had their annual barbecue with staff, and the representative from Olympia, Lisa, addressed the group, and it was a good function. Looks like everything's running well over there. And then a lot of constituent contacts, reference land use and compliance issues. That'll be it for me, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Menzer.
I'm going to waive any report. I've been mostly traveling the last few days, so I'll be back early next week.
Okay, for me, I did covered for that for Commissioner Menzer. There was just a lot of presentations. I was very excited that they are switching to a cloud-based system for their SharePoint. And so I asked plenty of interesting questions on that. So Cheryl will probably be hearing from me on that. So just very exciting to hear that they're moving that direction. So hopefully the county will not be far behind into the future. I attended the lead steering committee, and then I've just been attending canvassing board meetings, and the primary elections got certified today at 12:30. So, okay. Now the county manager will review the Board of County Commissioners schedule for the week of August 15th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I walk you through the schedule, combined schedule for the upcoming week, just a point of reflection today. And I was just going back to the items that you consider and approve on today's agenda. And that gives a perspective of the breadth and complexity of county government and the breadth and complexity that all of you county commissioners deal with on a daily basis. So I'd just like to express my appreciation, not just to staff and bringing all those complex items to you, but also on the engagement that each one of you county commissioners take the meaningful approach to determine what is the best for the county and what is the best for our community. So I'd just like to express my appreciation to your leadership. So thank you. And this upcoming week is where at least 2 commissioners will be present. And you may have individual appointments on your individual calendars, and those will now be part of my report. After this meeting, you're free to go. Nothing else in the combined schedule. Moving on to Wednesday, August 16th at noon, you have the Tenino Chamber of Commerce meeting that will be located at the Sandstone Cafe, 2736 6th Avenue in Tenino. And then in the afternoon, tomorrow, Wednesday the 16th, you have the opportunity to have conversations with your appointed directors. Thursday, August 17th, I believe Commissioner Edwards is attending the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Governing Board meeting. And I don't know if Commissioner Menser will be attending that, but
Commissioner Menser, do you want me to attend that?
I will not be in attendance, but I believe they'll have a quorum and I don't believe it'll
Okay.
be necessary to have you cover that. Thank you, though.
Okay,
and then Friday, August 18th at 8 in the morning, you have your regular South Thurston Economic Development Initiative, also known as STEADY, and that will be located at the Bucota Community Center, South Room, 204 South Main Street in Bucota. Saturday, August 19th at 3 in the afternoon, you have been invited to participate in the Capital Land Trust Summer Social, and that will be located at the 4127 20th Lane Northwest. Moving on to next week, Monday, August 21st, you have your standing meeting at noon of the Washington State Association of Counties. Tuesday, August 22nd, 9:15, you will convene in this room for your regular agenda setting. Following up in the afternoon at 2 on the Board of County Commissioners meeting, and at 3:30, you have a public hearing related to the proposed rates and charges to the Hopper Lake Management District, number 24. That's all I have for you.
thank you. Okay, any questions for the county manager?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so it is 3 o'clock. Short meeting today. We are adjourned.